All right, so in today's notes, we're going to talk about using a recursive sequence, a definition of a recursive sequence, to find whatever specific term we're trying to find. So in this case, we're told that the first term of a sequence is 10, and to find the nth term, I need to do negative 2 times a sub n minus 1. So what that means is I'm going to start off knowing term 1 is 10. If I want to find term 2, then what I'm saying is n equals 2, right? Because I'm saying that is the second term. So if I want to find the second term, I'm going to do negative 2 times a of 2 minus 1, which I could rewrite as negative 2 times a of 1, right? I know that a sub 1 is 10. So as it turns out, the second term is negative 20. Now I need to find the third term. And I would encourage you to pause and do this on your own because I think you could handle it. N equals 3 in this case. So this is going to be negative 2. I'm going back to using this definition. But now n is 3. So it's negative 2 times a of 3 minus 1. Or in other words, negative 2 times a sub 2, which stands for the second term of this sequence. I know that the second term of this sequence is negative 20 because I just discovered that in my previous calculation. So that's negative 2 times negative 20, which gives us 40. And so that is the third term of this sequence. It turns out that this is a geometric sequence because we have a common ratio of negative 2. So in the previous notes that we did, you might have been given 10, negative 20, 40, and you would have been asked to define this recursively, and you would have had this, right? But now we're going backwards, and we're saying, okay, you have the definition, give me the elements of this sequence. So let's try another one. This sequence is called C of n, or C sub n. It's in subscript notation. So we're told that the first term is negative 16, and we need to find the fifth term. So we're going to go through the process here, starting with term 2. Okay, so to find the second term, I'm going to do 2 minus 1, which is going to be 1. So C of 1 plus 6. So C sub 1 plus 6, which is negative 10. Okay, now I need to find the third term, and that's going to be, if n is 3, then C of n minus 1 is C of 2. That plus 6 doesn't change. And negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. All right, now I need to find the fourth term. That means I'm going to have to take the third term and add 6. I know that the third term is negative 4, which plus 6 is 2. And now I'm continuing to find the fifth term, which is what we were asked to find in the first place. So that means I have to take the fourth term, and the reason that that's the fourth term is because if n is 5, then C of n minus 1 is C of 4, because 5 minus 1 will be 4. Plus 6, and that's going to equal, well, the fourth term is 2, plus 6 is 8. So our fifth term would be 8. And if I wanted to write out this sequence, it would say negative 16, that's the first term, negative 10, negative 4, 2, 8, and that would continue. And in this case, we've got a common difference of 6, so this would be considered an arithmetic sequence, terminology that shouldn't go away. All right, the next two are going to be a little bit more challenging. So we're asked to determine the value of b of 4. This is written in function notation, and this is referring to the fourth term. So we're going to be careful here. The first term that they've given us is 6. Let's say I want to find the second term. Well, using the formula, that's going to be 2 times b of 2 minus 1 plus n is 2, right? So in this situation, we want to remind ourselves that we're solving this for when n is 2. And I've just replaced all the bits of this formula here with 2 wherever there's an n. Okay, so that's going to equal 2 times b of 1 plus 2. I do know that b of 1 is 6. So that's going to be 12 plus 2, which is 14. There's a lot happening in this formula, more than just multiplication by a number or addition by a number. So I'm not going to be able to describe this thing as either arithmetic or geometric. Let's find the third term. So that's going to be when n equals 3. If n equals 3, then it's 2 times b of 3 minus 1 plus 3. So that's 2 times b of 2. In other words, the second term in the sequence, plus 3. Okay, so that's 2 times, well, what is the second term? We just found that that's 14 plus 3. So that's going to be 28 plus 3, which is 31. So that's the third term. I'd encourage you to pause the video and do it on your own. Now let's find the fourth term. That's going to be 2 times b of 4 minus 1. And if you get to the point where you don't need to fill all this in because you're doing it in your head, that's okay. Just make sure that you're writing the step. So that's b of 3, or the third term, plus 4. So that's 2 times whatever the third term is, which is 31, plus 4. So that's 62 plus 4, or 66. So our fourth term is 66. And again, it's not geometric because although we are multiplying by 2, and you'd like to say that there's a common ratio of 2, you can't because you're also adding n every single time. And you can't say that the common difference is n because n is always changing. So it's not arithmetic and it's not geometric. The last example, I'd like you to try doing it on your own. But we're asked to list the first 5 terms, and we're already given the first term and the second term. And so if I want to find the third term, I have to follow the instructions. In this case, it looks like n would be 3. So that's going to say f of 3 minus 1 plus f of 3 minus 2. Okay, well that means that we're finding f of 2 and adding f of 1. And I know what those are. F of 2 is 1 and f of 1 is 0. So this would also be 1. So the third term in the sequence is 1. Let's find the fourth term in the sequence. F of 4 is going to be f of 4 minus 1 plus f of 4 minus 2, which means I need the third term plus the second term. My third term I just found, that's 1. And my second term was given to me, that's also 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the fourth term in this sequence is 2. Okay, let's find the fifth term because I'm asked to list the first 5 terms. So I need to find the fifth term, which means I'm going to have to find the fourth term and add to it the third term. And I know those. So the fourth term plus the third term is going to be the fourth term, which I just found, plus the third term, which was the term before that, and that's 3. So the first 5 terms of this sequence would be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. And I'd encourage you to keep going with this and see what happens with this sequence. It's a famous sequence called the Fibonacci sequence, and it doesn't necessarily continue with the pattern that you think you might see here. So watch what happens if you continue this pattern. Tomorrow you're going to be given delta math that is very similar to this, but this was your assignment for today, so make sure that tomorrow you reference this video if you're stuck.